Hello and welcome to Shoot the Hostage with me, Sarah, and my partner Dan. We're a movie podcast and we cover 8 films per season on a specific theme. Now, we swear, we chat major spoilers, and we occasionally cover triggering topics, so please do use listener discretion. If you like what we do and want to support us, consider hitting 5 stars on Spotify, or maybe subscribing or even reviewing on your platform of choice. We also have a Patreon with a free tier for lineups and updates, and 2 paid tiers with extra content and early ad-free uploads. Right, on with the show.
All aboard the Pineapple Express, because we're on top of the pineapple. It's a big...
We're on a pineapple, apparently.
We're on a big podcast, the podcast pineapple.
We're atop the podcast pineapple.
We're atop the breading, which is atop the podcast pineapple.
This is absolute nonsense.
Yeah. A bit like this movie, right?
You think this movie's nonsense?
Objectively, yes.
Okay. Interesting.
So we're talking about Pineapple Express, our first Seth Rogen movie.
Uh-huh.
Our second James Franco movie. Second only behind The Wicker Man.
I don't think you can really call that a James Franco movie, but yes, he made an appearance.
He did. Mm-hmm. And let's play a little game of which one did Dan prefer? Shall we come back to this at the end of the show?
You did not prefer the Wicker Man remake. Dan!
It might be funnier than Pineapple Express.
Is this just your Nick Cage bias shining through?
It might be a little bit, but I genuinely go back and listen to our Wicker Man show, but genuinely found that very funny. And line these 2 movies up together, I think I laughed more at the Wicker Man than I did in Pineapple Express.
That is nuts to me.
It's nuts. Okay. Well.
So this was not your first outing atop the Pineapple Express. You'd seen this before?
Yeah, I had. It wasn't my first Pineapple Rodeo.
Okay.
I actually think I blind bought this back in the day. So what year did this come out? 2008?
2008.
So it must have been about 2009. I think it was a Blockbuster X-Rental.
Okay.
Oh, it's the bloke from Knocked Up and the 40-Year-Old Virgin. I like that guy. He's funny. Oh, he was also the guy that was in Donnie Darko for a minute.
Literally a minute, yeah.
Yeah. So I think and particularly my age at the time, like, yeah, this has got me written all over it. Stoner comedy. Blind bought it, watched it, didn't love it, never watched it again.
See, that surprised me when you told me that for the first time, because please don't take this the wrong way.
Oh, I love it when you start a sentence like that.
I'm not going to dig you out.
That's not the word I was going to use.
But you do strike me as the sort of person to whom stoner comedies would appeal.
Yeah, and if you'd have asked me when I was 13, then absolutely yes. But looking back on it now, well, maybe we'll talk about stoner comedies in general, shall we? Mm-hmm. When I was a teenager, loved them. What did you have then? I think probably what was the first stoner comedy? Are we talking Cheech and Chong?
So I did a bit of research. If we're talking stoner films, then the first kind of mention that I could find was a film from 1932 called Jewel Robbery.
I haven't seen that one.
I haven't seen that one, but I did have a quick look on Letterboxd, and a lot of the reviews were basically just, oh, this guy robs a jewelry store and gets everybody stoned. And it sounded kind of insane, but I think it was intended to be more of like a morality thing.
Okay.
Much like Reefer Madness, which I believe was 4 years later in 1936.
All right.
And was basically just anti-marijuana propaganda. But in the 70s, there was a bit of a revival. So they kind of, I'm guessing basically that, do you know what the Hays Code is?
I do not.
Okay. So the Hays Code is something, you must have heard me mention that term before. It was like a set of rules that the movie industry as a whole, in the States at least, adhered to between the early 30s and I think it ran all the way to the late 60s. And it basically was just a way to police the content of movies with specific reference to like sex and violence. So there wasn't any violence that was allowed to be shown on screen, like no overt sexuality, no sex scenes.
No fun stuff at all.
Nothing good.
Yeah. Watch this pot boil.
Yeah, the Hays Code was basically the fun police.
Yeah. And when I say pot, I don't mean...
Yeah. Not that kind, this time. So I guess when that was abolished in the late 60s, there was a little bit more freedom. And it's funny because now that you know that, if you watch films from certain periods, it will become obvious, like how puritanical the values were at any given time. And so in the 70s, there was a bit of a revival and a bit of a renewed interest in this kind of thing. So they started, cinemas started showing Reefer Madness again, but as like an ironic comedy. So they took this straight-laced anti-drugs propaganda movie and people started to view it as a comedy. I'm guessing because they were high.
Yeah.
But that then led to, like, the door was then opened. And I think Cheech and Chong's first movie, I believe, was Up in Smoke.
It was?
In 78.
Yeah. It's where they build the van out of weed.
Yes. Which sounds structurally sound.
And then I believe the exhaust starts to burn the weed and everyone around them starts to get high.
Oh no, who could have foreseen that?
Yeah, these crazy circumstances these two get themselves into. It's nuts, isn't it?
In the limited research that I did, it seems like Cheech and Chong were the pioneers of the stoner comedy.
I would say the first time I saw a Cheech and Chong movie, I believe I was 14, and I think it was my mum. She was like, oh, you've never seen Cheech and Chong? Like, no, mum, because I'm still a child and I live, and you've never told me about it, and the internet doesn't exist yet.
You're my window to the world.
Yeah.
You're only just telling me.
Yeah. So I think me and my mates, we bunked off school, did nothing else while we were sitting there.
Yep.
And then we watched Cheech and Chong, Up in Smoke, and laughed our asses off for about 90 minutes. Honestly, like one of the top 5 laughing fits in my life, I would say. One of the funniest things I've ever seen. But there could have been other factors that were involved with that.
Such as?
Just, just chilling out with your mates, not doing anything at all. With rolling papers or any kind of other substances, like no hash or anything involved. Definitely not, because I was very young in high school, and that didn't happen where I'm from in Essex. I'd never even heard of drugs until you came up with this theme for the season.
Right.
It's the first time. So 40,
oh, so this has been a real education for you so far.
Yeah, it really has. So yeah, really, really enjoyed Cheech and Chong. I think moving on from, and they were what, 70s going into the 80s possibly. The Chong boys. Mr.
I don't think anybody's ever called them that.
One of them's a Chong boy. The other one is
it's Tommy Chong.
Tommy Chong and Cheech Marin.
Cheech Marin, yeah.
Yeah. And it might have been actually that I saw From Dusk Till Dawn first, and then watched Cheech and Chong going, oh, it's the pussy guy.
I thought that was Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, it's Lucas Haas. Said no one ever.
Yeah. Apart from Lucas Haas.
Yeah. And so Cheech and Chong, 90s, probably going into the Pauly Shore era. Would you class some of his movies as stoner comedies?
I think any movie that Pauly Shore's been in would be improved substantially by weed, yeah.
I'm sure. Well, his character.
Does that make them a stoner comedy? That's for you to judge.
Well, he has that persona of a kind of a hippie, doesn't he? A stoner hippie. Or he did, at least, back in those days, with things like California Man, a film that we mention way too often, but In the Army Now, Biodome, which is one of your favourites.
I wouldn't call it one of my favourites.
You quote it all the time.
Free my.
Yeah, exactly. There's not a week that goes by that you don't mention fucking Biodome.
It's my sciatica. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I apologise.
So 90s, Pauly Shore, I believe, and then you get into the 2000s, we're looking at Harold and Kumar situations, right?
Yeah.
And how many movies did they release? 3 or 4?
That I know of.
Okay.
3 that I've seen, should I say.
And again, I think I bought probably the first one as a blind buy and watched that, and again, didn't like it very much.
So the thing with stoner comedies is that I think obviously I made the joke already, but I genuinely do think they are made better by being stoned.
I wouldn't know.
Well, I would know because I am a medical cannabis user. I have a prescription and a card.
Yeah.
So I can talk about it freely.
You can.
Unlike some people.
Yeah, so you were saying?
So, yeah, I think by their very nature, they're really puerile.
Yeah. They're stupid.
Really, really dumb. But there's still like an ounce of appeal for me. When I say an ounce, that's, again, not a pun. Wasn't intended.
I don't get it.
But there is like just a nugget of appeal still. Even though they're the most immature things, like the basest humour you could possibly imagine. It still makes me laugh.
It's been a long time since I watched Up in Smoke, but I watched it quite a lot when I was a teenager. And I feel like I was getting to the point where I started to stop finding it funny, but I don't know if that's because I'd seen it too much or I was...
It's just because you're so mature now, Dan.
I outgrew it, didn't I? I'm so mature now.
Yeah.
But I can't say that it's a type of movie that I really have any fondness for anymore. I did for about 2 years when I was a teenager, and then tried a few times with various things, and I couldn't name you one that I really, really, really like now.
Yeah, I mean, much the same, to be honest. When I say there is like a nugget of appeal, I mean for the ones that I enjoy. The ones like Pineapple Express and the Harold and Kumars. I think it was the third one with Neil Patrick Harris. Far funnier than it had any right to be, although Sarah today might have a differing opinion if I watched it right now. I don't know. But yeah, just those dumb comedies, some of them do appeal. And I mean, obviously we're specifically talking about stoner comedies, but there were sort of stoner films outside of the comedy realm as well. I guess the first of which I would have seen would be Easy Rider, because that was one of my dad's favourites. You could probably call that a stoner movie.
I haven't seen it.
Okay. But yeah, it wasn't till the 70s that they sort of became a thing. Like stoner comedies became recognised as a thing. And I think outside of Cheech and Chong, Pineapple Express is probably one of the more well-known ones.
Stoner comedies don't really get made anymore, do they?
They don't come along very often, which I think is probably for the best.
Comedies don't come around very often in general, do they?
Well, they do. They're just direct to prime and written for simpletons.
I still feel like, well, yeah, but except for Ricky Stenicki, which is a masterpiece.
Yeah, 5 stars.
I still feel like even if you factor in the comedies that were released straight to streaming on your Amazons and your Netflix, I feel like there's still not as many. For some reason, I don't know, when I was a teenager, I felt like every week there was a new comedy out, and maybe you get one a month now.
Well, you're in luck, because we've got Happy Gilmore 2 to look forward to this month.
Oh, thank the Lord, baby Jesus. I cannot wait to watch that.
I thought that would be your reaction.
I bet that's going to be amazing.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, we're going to watch it.
There's no way that's going to be pony after all this time.
No. It's got all the ingredients, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Is the first one still funny?
I haven't seen it in such a long time. I kind of don't want to, because it just lives in a memory pocket in the back of my brain. And my brain pulls out quotes every now and again. And I would hate to have that tainted in any way.
Again, saw it when I was a teenager, laughed my arse off at it. Don't know if I would get much out of it these days, but possibly. And also not the biggest fan of that era of Adam Sandler, or any, to be fair. He's not my guy. There's a couple of films that I enjoyed. I enjoyed that when it came out. Love The Wedding Singer. I think that's like, that to me rises way above anything else that he's done. It's like, it's The Wedding Singer, Happy Gilmore, then I don't really like anything else.
What about Airheads?
Airheads, I forgot about Airheads.
I mean, it's not really an Adam Sandler movie, but...
Yeah, I guess that's where I'm getting confused. That's more of a Brendan Fraser movie, I guess.
Yeah.
That's a great film. That's such a funny movie. We watched it not long ago.
Yeah, and it holds up.
It holds up very well. Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess you're thinking more along the lines of like The Waterboy and Little Nicky and like an Adam Sandler vehicle.
Yeah, your Big Daddy.
Oh, God.
Of that era, like the 96 to kind of 2001 specifically. And still kind of going on today, evidenced by the sequel, as you mentioned, of Happy Gilmore 2.
I guess you could kind of call those sorts of movies a bit of an offshoot of stoner humour. It's quite similar.
Yeah. I mean, you could just put a joint in Sandler's hand and call it a stoner comedy, couldn't you? And not change anything else apart from the fact that he has a joint or he's smoking weed in it.
I think that's so.
That's the only qualification for a stoner movie, right? Someone at some point has to be smoking weed.
I disagree.
Okay, well, what's your...
I disagree. I think the cannabis has to be a plot point.
Okay. So why would you think that Pineapple Express is a stoner movie then?
Are you joking?
Why is that? Is it a plot point?
It's named after the strain of weed that they're smoking.
Yeah, that's the name, but what's it got to do with the plot?
The fact that the bad guys can trace who it was who saw them offing a rival because of the weed that they were smoking.
Okay. Is that plot though?
Yes, it's integral.
Okay. Is it?
Yes.
Okay. But is it though?
Yeah, I'm going to die on this hill.
Because, I mean, I'm struggling to think about what this movie is actually about in the first place. What is fuck's going on in this?
Well, it's an action crime comedy also.
Oh, right. I've just remembered Seth Rogen witnessed a murder.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Did you watch this?
I did, yeah. But you forgive me, like, that is it. That's the plot. And like, it's a stupid comedy, so it doesn't need to be like really complex or anything. But I was just struggling to remember where weed factored into it. Apart from their smoking all the way through it, it's called Pineapple Express, of course.
That's how the two protagonists know one another.
Yeah,
it's because one is the other's dealer.
All right, fair. I'm not going to die on this hill. I don't give a shit. It's a stoner comedy. Because it had been so long since I'd seen it, I didn't really remember any of it. And I wasn't expecting the first scene where it's kind of black and white situation with James Remar with an eye patch.
Oh, yeah.
Is this our second James Remar movie? Yeah, because he was in The
Warriors.
I wasn't expecting that bit. Took me completely by surprise. And we watched that scene. And then when that scene finished, I was thinking, oh, I wonder how this is going to factor into the story. Nope, that's it. We're done with that plot point now. It wasn't relevant at all to the rest of the movie. So what was... It was just there for us to laugh at, really, wasn't it? Bill Hader smoking a joint, and it was maybe a bit of kind of commentary on the viewpoints at that time around marijuana, and
I sort of see that as them poking fun at things like Reefer Madness,
right?
Which, by the way, experienced such a boost in popularity that it had a musical remake.
Oh, cool!
In the early 2000s, which I have seen.
Any good?
No.
Okay.
Not at all. But yeah, I like that intro, mostly because of Bill Hader.
You're a big Hader head, aren't you?
I think he's hilarious.
You do think he's hilarious.
I think he's a very funny man.
I don't get that, really.
Okay.
I'm not trying to just disagree with you for the sake of it. Like, that scene came on, and I know you love Hader, and you were laughing at that scene.
Yeah.
And that's great. I was enjoying you finding it funny. I didn't find it that funny.
That's fair.
And I don't know, what's he been in that he's funny in?
Lights a Star.
Superbad? He was one of the cops, wasn't he, with Seth Rogen?
Yeah, he was on SNL.
That was good.
And
I've not seen much SNL, so that's...
Yeah, I'm not a big SNL guy, but
yeah.
I think sort of peak SNL for me was Bill Hader and Kristen Wiig.
Okay.
Because they always made each other laugh.
But I guess he's just not really my guy. Like
that's fair enough.
I've not seen him that much, but the stuff I have seen him in, I'm like, yeah, I can take it or leave it. So I found that opening part quite jarring. So is that James Remar on an eye patch? Bill Hader's doing something. I don't know. Is he actually smoking that? I mean, you would think so, given the performance that he's given. And then it cuts to, I guess, Seth Rogen, and he does the whole intro like he's going around serving people papers because that's his job.
He's a process server, yeah.
That's right. And I thought that there was a couple of nods to some Jim Carrey films in this. I don't know if you picked up on any of that.
Like such as?
Well, the opening after the Hader part, you cut to Rogen and he's doing like a montage of him going about his day, what he does during the day. He smokes a lot of weed.
Yep.
What a surprise. And it's just kind of a montage. And I thought, well, that's similar to the opening of Pet Detective, where he's...
okay.
What's he doing in that, actually? He's kicking the box, isn't he, along the street? Maybe it's not the same at all. Anyway.
It's been too long since I've seen it. I couldn't possibly say.
It's not been that long for me. So let's pretend that that's exactly like Pet Detective to back up my point.
Okay.
There's also another point in the movie early on where he has a jacket and he kind of spins it around and then puts it on in like one smooth moment, which is very Cable Guy-esque.
Okay.
I mean, the only reason I know that is because I do that now, and I have done it ever since 1996 when I saw the Cable Guy.
That's what they were doing in Karate Kid Legends.
Were they doing that in that?
The coat on, coat off.
Oh,
was like the new wax on, wax off.
I guess so, yeah, as a substitute for karate.
Yeah.
As Daniel LaRusso would say. How many times did he say karate? And why is he saying it like that now?
It's in his contract. It's just, I don't think he can pronounce it any other way these days. It's just become an affectation.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, a couple of nods to some Jim Carrey stuff I thought, which was interesting. I do think that at least some of it would have been intentional because, I mean, Carrey's one of the greats, right? He's one of the great comedic actors. The original Pet Detective was one of the funniest things I ever saw when I was a kid. Doesn't hold up quite as well now. For one glaringly obvious reason.
Yeah.
I would say that's the biggest issue in it.
Mm-hmm.
But you can, for me anyway, I can kind of go, yeah, don't love that, but it's still funny as fuck. But actually, I think I prefer When Age Calls. But anyway, going off topic slightly.
So slightly, yeah.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were sort of putting a little nod to him. But do you think we don't really have a Jim Carrey, do we, these days? We don't have anyone that's, I mean, you go back to the 90s again, you had Pauly Shores, you had Jim Carrey's into the 2000s. Is Rogan kind of filling that spot of your leading comedy actor?
Yeah, I mean, I guess...
it's different because he's a straight...
Like, everybody who was in This Is the End, so
yeah,
Jay Baruchel, Jonah Hill, like all that lot, Michael Cera.
Yeah.
But they're
McBride.
growing up now.
Yeah.
And they're not doing the same kind of projects. So who do we have?
I don't think we really have anyone now. We John Cena?
No.
He's
He is funny. He's
funny.
got very good comic timing. I will never, you won't hear me disagreeing, but I don't know, man.
You're right, we don't really have it. John Cena was a bit of a stretch just because he's in my favourite comedy of the last 5 years, Ricky Stenicki.
Stop talking about Ricky Stenicki.
But I don't think we really have. Someone's going to comment on this and go, well, what about this person? I'm going to go, oh yeah, actually,
maybe
you're
we're
right.
Maybe we're out of touch and we just don't know.
But we go to see everything at the cinema, so I don't know. Maybe there's some random YouTube channel that everyone's laughing at these days that we're not a part of.
In a perfect world, for me, it would be the guys from Silicon Valley, and TJ Miller wouldn't have turned out to be a dickhead.
Yeah, that's
like in a perfect world, Thomas Middleditch and Ben Schwartz would be at the peak of comedy actors.
Yeah, they would be who I would vote for to be pumping out those sorts of projects these days.
Right?
Yeah, definitely.
Kumail Nanjiani. Why are they not dominating?
Well, Kumail's had to get super buff and be in a superhero movie.
He had to, yeah.
Middleditch and Schwartz. Well, Schwartz is making all of the money on Sonic now.
Mm-hmm.
Middleditch doesn't do a lot. I'm guessing that he probably made enough money from Silicon Valley and is like, I don't really
to just
need
go
to
Renaissance fairs and
yeah,
stream himself gaming for the rest of his life.
Yeah, he can just kind of do what he wants, and then occasionally you'll get a Middleditch and Schwartz improv show.
But I think you're right in like the last batch that we had was Seth Rogen and friends, and by extension, James Franco.
Yeah.
Let it be said, we do not like James Franco at Shoot the Hostage. I think he's a massive wanker. But he's funny.
Honestly, like, it's kind of annoying and frustrating to watch some of his performances because they're not all great. There are some which are not good, but I feel like he was one of these actors that I'm talking about him like he's dead. He's still alive. I just wish he was dead.
That's a different thing entirely.
But he's one of those actors I think that took chances on whether it was in the project that he was taking on or in a characterization that he chose to go with. So, and sometimes that worked and sometimes that didn't. I think it really worked here in this movie. I think that he, for me, is probably the funniest character in this.
I think you're right.
A couple that I do think give some good performances, and there's some people that I think were wasted.
And I hate to give the man credit, but I think it's I don't think it's so much the writing. I think it is the performance. Because I know that obviously Seth Rogen co-wrote this.
With Evan Goldberg.
Did he? Was it?
And
I don't know why I'm surprised. They always team up to write things.
Jard as well. I think Jard Apatow came up with the initial nugget of the idea, and then they all kind of wrote it together. So you think it's more the performance then, rather than the writing, as far as Franco's concerned?
I think so, because Seth Rogen did kind of write Saul with him playing him in mind. Himself, rather. I'm not.
Yeah, I know, man.
I'm boiling up.
Rogen is the sole character.
Yeah. This is the height of UK summer again, and my brain's melted, and it's dripping out my ears. So deal with it. Yeah, but he kind of came to the realization that Franco was much funnier in that role.
Well, I think Franco read the script and assumed that he was going to be the Rogen. I can't remember his name.
The only reason I remember their names are because they are alliterative. It's Saul Silver and Dale Denton.
Dale, right.
They named them, they used the superhero naming device.
Right. So, but Franco read it and apparently just assumed that they wanted him for the Dale character, but went back to him and said, do you know what, I would like to play the Soul character, and whoever had him in mind for a part said, well, no, we envisaged you for the Soul character anyway, so he was very happy with that. I can't imagine it the other way around, because Rogen is... I really like Seth Rogen. I like what he's about, particularly lately. We watched The Studio a few months ago. We sort of binged that in a week or two. And it's one of I think the funniest show that I've seen in years. I thought it was absolutely great. And he's central to that. But he's not like he's often more of a straight character. Like, he can be silly. Yeah. But he's never like... I don't know, would you use the term goofy? I don't know if I would use the term goofy for him. But the more... It's weird, though, comedy isn't it? Stuff that I get from him is more that he is sometimes maybe out of his depth.
Yeah, neurotic.
Neurotic is perfect, yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because when I think about him, when I conjure a picture of Seth Rogen in my mind, goofy is something that I probably would associate with him. But thinking about it, you're absolutely right. He's not often like the full-on goofball. Even going all the way back to Freaks and Geeks, which would have been the first thing I saw him in. I think he was like 16 in that, obviously alongside James Franco again. And he was the stoner, but it was like these acerbic little quips. It wasn't raucous laughter. So yeah, he has always maintained a bit of that straight man, and even all the way up to The Studio, which he's very funny in, but he's not a very physical performer. It's more about the script. Does that make sense?
I do find him to be somewhat of a physical actor, but it more stems from the, as you say, the neuroses that he presents and his panic. That's what I enjoy about that particular character anyway, and the things that he does in that show. Not going to spoil it. Huge recommend. Definitely watch it. But that character is, again, seems to be out of his depth somewhat. How is he going to get out of this situation? Oh, he's making it worse. And that's kind of the thing about that show.
Yeah, but that's kind of his thing here as well.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. Although I think he is... ironically, as a movie producer, more likable than he is in this movie.
It's funny, isn't it?
He's a bellend in this. I hate him in this. And that's something I struggled with.
Right. So my major stumbling block with this character, with with Dale Denton, is initially in the script, his girlfriend Angie was supposed to be an adult woman, similar in age, who had a full-time job, was quite professional.
God forbid.
But they were a little bit scared that the dynamic between the two looked like they were ripping off Shaun of the Dead.
What?
So, yeah.
How?
I don't know. So then they kind of did away with that and wrote her much younger.
That's a weird decision to me.
And while...
Did Franco write that bit?
Oh, God, don't. Maybe. But while I think it is funny that this grown man is in a relationship with a high schooler because it's pathetic, you're very much laughing at him, it's still like, I don't know, I don't think the movie necessarily condemns it enough.
That's what I got from it, because when when we got to that point, and I found out that, completely forgotten all of this, by the way, on my from my first viewing, but when it got to that point and you find out that he's dating Amber Heard, who's a child, 17, she's 17 or something.
Well, she's not going to be any older than 18 for sure.
Yeah. But Rogen's actually in the school. Like, he's walking, and I just thought, that's a weird scenario to me. Like, it's not that old, this film. I suppose it's getting on for almost 2 decades now, really.
I was surprised. I didn't think it was that old.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think I turned to you and was like, oh, so he's dating a child then?
Yeah.
Yes, he's a loser character. You're meant to, I suppose you are sort of meant to root for him, which makes it slightly confusing.
It's a curious decision, yeah, because he is the protagonist.
He doesn't, like you say, doesn't really get condemned for it. He kind of makes the decision that at the end of the movie that he doesn't really want to be with her. Kind of, that they sort of brush over it a bit, yeah. But it's not like there's no realization there that he's dating a child. It's just
that he's a bad person.
Yeah, and you're meant to sort of be rooting for this character the whole way along, and it gets to the end and it's just like, oh, okay, well, that's over. Well, that character, I don't think that character even needed to be in it. That's the thing. I don't think it'd been different at all had she not been in it. Maybe we wouldn't have had Ed Begley Jr., which would be a sorry state of affairs, but I don't know. I'll take that sacrifice for not having a child/adult relationship in this movie.
I agree with you. And I actually think the film would be improved by removing that element, because it would also make it shorter.
Again, way too long for a comedy.
And I know this isn't a Judd Apatow movie, but it's sort of a Judd Apatow movie. He produced it, right?
In length, it's a Judd Apatow.
But that's what I mean. Every comedy that Judd Apatow has anything to do with tends to be pushing the 2-hour mark, if not longer. I feel like the first time, did he do Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
I'm actually not sure. I would say probably most likely yes, because what's his name? Jason Segel. I would say yes.
Another Freaks and Geeks alumni.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything that he does that's a comedy is way too long. I think comedy for me, at the top end, 1:45, and that's pushing it, which some people might find strange, but I think you do risk just too much of the same thing.
I thought this was really baggy, this film. I sort of struggled with the length of it, and I'm similar to you. There are different shades of comedy. I think some of the Apatow stuff of the last 15 years or so has been more steering into like dramedy area, where you've got some good drama. King of Staten Island is a good example of that. It's very funny, but it's also, there's quite a lot of drama in it and sad timey stuff where you figure out why he's putting tattoos on children.
And also that was like 2 hours, but it earned it.
Yeah, but that's what, there's more substance to it. But
yeah.
But when I would class Pineapple Express as a really stupid, like, the only reason this exists is to make you laugh and no other fucking reason.
Yeah, this is not going to leave you thinking.
Exactly. So, and I don't want that to be more than 90 minutes. I think just for, if comedies are, for me anyway, really subjective. It's maybe the most subjective. Like, what you find funny is different to what I find funny, and to what whoever's listening. That we're all different. We all find different things funny. So I think it might be the most subjective type of movie, because for me, a comedy just needs to make me laugh. And if it doesn't make me laugh, then it's not a good comedy. But someone else might watch it and go, that really made me laugh. That is a good comedy. And there's not really, like, a movie can be really shit, like really poorly made, poorly edited, poorly shot. If it's funny, none of that other stuff matters to me. I you know, Birdemic, The Room, unintentional comedy, but comedy nonetheless. And it's like a poorly made film. Like, it doesn't really matter about anything else. So when it's a pure comedy, I think it needs to be sharp and quick and in and out, and needs to make you laugh, concise, and then you get to the end like, oh, is it over already? Oh, I wish I wanted more of this.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement there.
I thought this is meant to be a stupid, don't really think about it comedy, and it's an hour and 50 minutes long.
Yeah. I'd never really thought about that being, like, I guess it is the most subjective genre, because obviously I'm thinking about like my preference, which is horror. And I guess you could say the intention of a horror movie is to frighten you, which horror movies don't really do anymore. They haven't done for a while. I'm forever chasing that feeling, but I never get it. But it doesn't mean that the film, if it doesn't scare me, has been a waste of time or is unenjoyable.
Yeah, true.
But with a comedy, that's different.
If you watch a comedy and it hasn't made you laugh, then it's a failure.
You're not going to be like, but it was still good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And there are different levels as well. There can be like we'll go back to the Apatow stuff. There's some really laugh out loud moments in a lot of his movies, but then some of them for me are like maybe a light chuckle or a little smile or not even any reaction at all, but you're enjoying the characters and they're kind of amusing. Could be another way to describe some of them. It doesn't always need to be laugh out loud funny, but in something like this, then absolutely, I think it needs to be a scattergun approach of jokes. Like you're going to laugh every couple of minutes or so.
Spray and pray.
I didn't get that from this. I did laugh a few moments in it, and maybe most of it was Franco.
Before we plow on, I do want to talk a little bit about David Gordon Green.
Oh yeah, DGG.
DGG. We'll call him DGG from now on because I'm not the biggest fan of DGG, but I feel we need to talk about him because we've covered the main players, but we haven't talked about the director yet. He's got a really random filmography, I'm starting to realise. I think I sort of had him pegged as like, oh, he's the comedy guy. But I'm wrong, because I had a look today, and actually some of his earliest films, I think the first one I would have seen was a movie called All the Real Girls. I know Zooey Deschanel was in it. Danny McBride was in it, but that would have been before I knew who the fuck Danny McBride was. He's done a film called George Washington, which sounds quite gritty.
Is it about George Washington?
Nope, it's actually not.
Okay.
But it's pretty well reviewed. He's done a couple of other things. Like he did a film called Prince Avalanche, which was sort of comedy leaning, but more dramedy, I would say. And then he's got stuff like this, kind of in the middle of his CV. And obviously he's collaborated with Danny McBride a bunch. They did Eastbound and Down, which I found reasonably funny when it first came out, but I feel like that probably hasn't aged very well. And then he started meddling in the horror genre. Now, I really like the first Halloween movie that he did. Was it 2018?
Yeah.
They all came out in quite quick succession, didn't they?
A couple of years apart, I think, each of them, yeah.
I really enjoyed the first one, and so I was super stoked for the second two.
I think it's my favourite Halloween movie.
That's a fucking strange take, but okay.
Sorry.
That's fine. No, I mean, if you'd said Rob Zombie's Halloween was your favourite Halloween movie, then we might have had issues.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
I wouldn't say that to your face.
Don't. Are you like pushing for an argument right now?
No, I said I wouldn't say it.
To my face.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the second two came out, and the second one I thought was absolute garbage. I feel like we watched that in the middle of the pandemic. Maybe we rented it or did like an HBO Max VPN job or something.
We would have done that if it was legal, yeah.
Yep. I just ignore everything I just said. And then the third one we went to see this at the cinema. Now, I hated the second one. I was kind of a low-key defender of the third one.
Yeah, I didn't mind the third one. Had its moments.
A lot of people really, really hated that one.
It was bizarre.
It was a strange movie, but I kind of respected what they did, and the fact that they kind of replicated the vibes of what the original first three movies.
Yeah. Like
the third one wasn't about Michael Myers, so it sort of made sense to me. And then he did, was it The Exorcist Believer? Which was trash, in my opinion. Obviously, if you enjoy it, I'm stoked for you. I wish I had. But it was so poorly received that he kind of made his excuses and backed out of the future Exorcist movies.
Are they making more?
Well, he was supposed to be doing an Exorcist trilogy in the same way that he did with Halloween. I believe, anyway. I think that was the plan originally. And I would love to know the official reasons that they gave, but it was bound to be A, financially motivated, and B, because everybody took a dump on it because it was terrible.
Yeah.
And I don't know what he's doing at the moment, but hopefully he's going to find another genre to meddle in.
So what's the best David Gordon Green movie then, in your opinion?
I think it might be the first Halloween. Oh, my favourite anyway.
Not Pineapple Express then?
No.
Okay.
Which I do enjoy it. I do enjoy Pineapple Express, but I wouldn't call it his best movie, no. What about you?
I would say quite easily
Your
the first
Highness.
Halloween movie. Oh, God, I could not stand Your Highness.
It wasn't great.
It was terrible.
That was Franco as well, wasn't it?
Franco McBride, I think, wasn't it?
Right.
And it wasn't until about 3 or 4 years ago when I saw the cover on, I was just doing a letterboxed rabbit hole or something and came across it, not in that way. And then I read the title, Your Highness, and it didn't click to me that the word high in it is in relation to the drug. Your Highness. I didn't realise that until a couple of years ago. But yeah, I did watch that when it came out, and not good.
No,
not good. Not for me. And also, I think Danny McBride is not really my guy either. I can't really think of a thing that he's done that I really enjoy. I'm not saying like I think he's a very talented comedic actor, but I can't think of anything really that he's been in that really makes me laugh and purely entertained. I never saw Eastbound and Down. What else might he have done that I might like? I can't think of.
I honestly don't know.
He was in Alien Covenant with James Franco.
I have a controversial take. You've said you think he's a talented comedian. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think he's good at one thing, and that's being a very loud and aggressive moron. He plays that character very well.
The thing with McBride is that I sort of enjoy his thing for a minute.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, he's just an obnoxious, loud guy that thinks he's right about things. And that's kind of amusing for about a minute. But I was very surprised because when we got to McBride in Pineapple Express, there's me thinking, okay, now it's time for another Danny McBride show. But he's doing something quite different in this, which surprised
for a
me.
change, yeah. But he's still doing the same delivery.
Quite flat, isn't it? Quite flat, quite matter of fact.
Loud,
sort of delivery.
Idiotic.
I didn't think he was that loud in this. Was he loud?
Maybe I'm just mixing it up with his other performances. He tends to be.
I mean, yeah, I know he tends to be in general. I remember being quite struck by how different he was in this movie.
I think he is more likable in this than pretty much anything else he's been in.
Yeah, and it's weird, isn't it? Because he is the character that is constantly flip-flopping about grassing up his mates and potentially getting them killed and then going to help them and rescue them and then pulling out of that, and then he's sort of backwards and forwards.
The Terminator. He's unkillable.
Yeah. Yes. So I didn't mind his performance in this. I actually quite enjoyed it. I think there are some good performances in this. I think if you didn't have... There's maybe 3 people in this that I thought were very, very good.
Okay.
Franco, McBride, Robinson, Craig Robinson. I thought was excellent.
Yeah.
And
he's the reason that if people ask me if I've seen a movie, I say I've seen it.
Okay.
That's where that came from.
Is it from Hot Tub Time Machine?
No, it's from Pineapple Express.
Oh, the movie that we watched the other day. Right. Yeah. Okay.
I do think Craig Robinson is very funny.
He is funny, and he's good in this. And I wasn't expecting to see him. I suspect that when I first saw Pineapple Express, didn't know who the fuck Craig Robinson was. Really late to the party on Office US, all of that stuff. So yeah, probably didn't know who he was, and when I saw his name pop up in the credits, I thought, oh good, I really like that Scottish late night TV talk show host. He's really funny, I think. I always get them mixed up. But yeah, and then when he appeared on screen, pleasantly surprised. Very good, very funny. So yeah, I think that a couple of people kind of stole the show in this. And if they weren't in it, I think this might be borderline unwatchable.
Wow, that bad.
If Rogen was playing the Franco character and either Franco or someone else was playing Dale, and you didn't have Robinson, you didn't have McBride, I think this might be a terrible, terrible movie.
Maybe
that's I don't know. Maybe that's a hot take. Does this tends to be quite well regarded?
Well, it's funny you say that. I always
comedy.
Yeah, I always thought it was, but when I looked on Letterboxd earlier today, almost everybody that I follow has seen it and logged it.
Everyone's seen it.
But the ratings are wildly different, with a lot of them at like 2.5 to 3 or 3.5. They're all somewhere around that middle.
Yeah. Which I think is fair. Like go back again.
I would give it a 3.
Okay, well, I
think I did.
That's successful. That's fine. Like that, we all spoke about this many times. Have different ways of rating things. For me, it's usually purely entertainment. In comedies, it's just by how it made me laugh. So I would put this probably lower than that because it didn't make me laugh a great deal, somewhat. But I think that middle range is probably, it seems like it's about right, because it's not a terrible movie and there are some good things, good performances and things to enjoy in it. It just sort of boils down to how much it makes you laugh, I guess. I thought it was quite well regarded. I thought people loved this movie.
I don't think people loved it. No. I wonder if some of that is people going back and reappraising it through a more modern lens. Like we're doing.
Yeah, I guess that's what we are doing, isn't it, to a degree? I think I think going back again, the thing that's most alarming about this film is the dating the teenager thing. But I don't. Yeah, that is a big problem. That is a big problem for me, because
I wouldn't say they endorse the practice of dating high schoolers.
No, I don't think they do. I just don't think they go far enough for condemning that character.
Yeah, agreed.
Like when we pointed it out, and you were like, "Yeah, he is a loser." Like I think that the inclusion of that is to kind of underline how much of a loser he is.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely to sort of poke fun at Dale and go, he can't get a woman his own age. He can only manipulate a child.
Yeah.
Like that is part of that. And isn't that sort of something that one of the teachers says? Because going back to you talking about a lot of the side characters being the highlights, we obviously get Joe Latrulio.
Oh, is that the teacher guy that was
in
it? I know his face.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I Love You Man. Like he crops up in a bunch of stuff.
Right. Slapping the bass.
But I think he's quite funny.
Yeah, he's all right, actually.
How do you feel about Kevin Corrigan as well? I think the combination of him and Craig Robinson as like the two heavies was pretty inspired.
Yeah, that worked pretty well. He had less to do comedically, I guess. Again, a bit of a straight man.
But it was, I found his delivery to be quite funny.
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, I feel like anyone maybe could have been that character.
Oh, really?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
I mean, maybe I'm selling it a bit short here. I'm not an actor. I'm sure it's very hard. I'm sure you all work very hard sitting in your fucking gold trailers.
No resentment here.
I had to wait for 4 hours in your trailer under your duvet. We had to work down mine.
Did you?
Yeah. Well, I didn't.
Get up and lick road with tongue.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't have to do those things.
No.
I work in an office.
Yeah.
But it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have a trailer. But yeah, I guess I wasn't blown away by that character, really.
Okay.
But it could be that character needed to be more straight in order for the other stuff to work.
I think so, yeah.
And often as a straight man, people kind of underestimate the importance of that, I feel like, because you need that contradiction or that kind of opposite to the silly
otherwise
silly guy.
Neither of them are funny.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe it works way more. I tell you who, like, why the fuck put Rosie Perez in this movie?
I was just going to say, how do you feel about the villains? Like, so we've got Rosie Perez and we've got Gary Cole.
Gary Cole is in this movie?
Yes.
And he is the man.
He's Ted.
Who is the man? Did
you watch this movie?
Yes.
He's like the main guy who's at war with the Asians.
Right, okay. Yeah. So he's the guy that Rogen sees shooting the
rival
gang person. Mm-hmm. And then Perez is the cop who's assisting that. She's
the dirty cop.
Corrupt police officer. Yeah.
And she asked for a lot of her lines to be cut because she thought that her character would be a little bit more menacing without as much dialogue.
I don't think you need to have a menacing character in this stupid comedy.
No. And there aren't any. I don't think she's menacing.
No, she's not. I think that's a bit of a misjudgment on her part.
Maybe. But she was sort of pretty widely mocked in the 90s for having like this high-pitched kind of grating voice. So maybe she internalized some of that criticism, which would be sad if that were the case.
Yeah, that's funny. I never really thought about it, but thinking back to some of the movies that she was in the 90s, maybe I've just got Nick Cage on the brain, but was she perhaps in, what was that lottery movie called? It Could Happen to You? Maybe, where Nick Cage is a policeman and he gives half of his winnings to a waitress, but I feel like his wife was Rosie Perez, I think.
Oh, right, okay.
But yeah, you're right. In that movie, she was kind of the, elbow in the stomach. Oh, she's a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
isn't she? Like
that kind ball and chain.
Yeah. I think it was a little bit of that.
Yeah, and believe it or not, Gary Cole came to the project a little bit later because Bryan Cranston was sort of in the running for the role of Ted.
Oh, I want the Bryan Cranston version of this.
Right? But the irony is that Judd Apatow, in his vast wisdom,
couldn't see it.
Said that he couldn't see him as a villainous drug dealer the same year that Breaking Bad started. What does Judd Apatow know? Nothing.
I think that Vince Gilligan took that statement and set fire to it.
And said, hold my beer, Judd.
Yeah. One of the best performances in TV history.
But also, Cranston can do it all.
Cranston's great.
Why would you doubt him?
You're so right. He's very funny. He's a really good dramatic actor.
But I think because he did Malcolm in the Middle, he was a sitcom actor for such a long time.
I've never seen the show, but you've seen it? Mm-hmm. He's like a bumbling dad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That stereotype.
Out of touch kind of dad wearing a cardigan, like doesn't know what cunt he means.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't till the other day, so...
Every day's a school day.
Yeah.
But yeah, as if you would doubt that man and his range.
I think maybe this film might be improved by about 17% had Bryan Cranston been in that role.
At least. Which is not to say that Gary Cole did a bad job.
But it was nothing.
But it wasn't...
He was just a villain. It was nothing.
It's not a performance you would pick out and go, that was great. Whereas I think Cranston could have really taken it there.
I think so. And maybe perhaps there might have been more interesting stuff going on between Perez and Cranston. I'm interested to know what lines of Perez's were dropped.
Yeah.
Are we saying Perez's?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, because I thought I watched this and I quite like Rosie Perez. Like, I think she's kind of an actor that I grew up with and go back to the 90s again. And she was always sort of popping up in things, and I quite liked her, or not always liked the characters, but I enjoyed her performances in things. And when I saw that she was going to be in this, I thought, yeah, that's good cast. And I saw her as the police officer. I thought, yeah, this is good. But then she gets I felt like she kind of got shortchanged in that role.
She's kind of sidelined a little bit.
It's interesting to know that she asked for lines to be cut, and I wonder what they were exactly. Were they silly, funny lines? I mean, I gather they probably were if she wanted to appear a little bit more menacing. But I don't think that this movie really needs a menacing character.
There are no stakes in this film. No. It's not like you need a really threatening villain to buy into it. It's not like you're sitting there going, oh my God, I wonder what's going to happen. Like, it's not that kind of film. So, yeah, I don't know. But at the same time, including her lines would have made it past the 2-hour mark. So
well, that's true. But there's other stuff that you could have cut out. I think I was very surprised by how much action there was in this film.
It got criticised for how gory it was, actually.
Did it?
Yeah.
Is it gory? I suppose it is.
For a stoner comedy, it's the two generally don't go hand in hand.
I don't. It didn't work fully for me. The action and the comedy. If you'd have asked me a week ago if Pineapple Express is a comedy or an action movie, I would have gone, what you're talking about is a comedy. I had no idea or memory of how much action there was in it, and it didn't fully work for me, the action.
Okay.
I found it went on for a while and wasn't very interesting, and I felt like they could have saved a lot of that and maybe poured more energy into the comedy side of it. Didn't fully work for me, the action stuff.
Okay, that's fair. Did you know that Seth Rogen rolled all of the prop joints?
Unsurprising.
Even the cross joint.
Yeah.
That was his invention.
That's interesting. Interesting. I've never made one of those. I'm myself. Yeah.
Well, I'm not shocked because you've never done any drugs.
No. And I haven't made one of those, and I haven't made a trident joint either.
Trident?
Similar. I've never done that either. Or a Dutch tulip. You ever heard of a Dutch tulip?
I've never heard of a Dutch tulip.
Well, I haven't either.
What is it?
I don't know. I don't know.
Are you going to send me to Urban Dictionary and I'm going to have to live with the regret for the rest of my life?
It's when you shit in your hand and throw it at someone's face or something.
If you told me that under any other circumstances, I might have believed you. Do you know what the inspiration for the script was?
Was it a pineapple?
Nope.
No, then.
It was apparently Brad Pitt's character from True Romance.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Which I thought was quite interesting.
Because he's a stoner guy, isn't he? Mm-hmm. He's laying on the sofa of someone in that movie.
Gary Oldman, isn't he?
Is it Gary Oldman's sofa?
Oh, wait. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, another movie that I don't love.
I did love it for a long time, but the last time I watched it, I was like, "Ooh, this hasn't aged as well as I thought it had."
No. And
I don't think it's even Tarantino at its best. So, yeah, that one went down in my estimation, sadly. But I can see the commonalities. I can see where they got the inspiration from.
Yeah, I mean, he's a stoner. So there you go.
Did you know that this was the first stoner movie to ever gross over 100 million?
I knew that it grossed over 100 million, actually, but I did not know it was the first and surely only.
I don't think there's been anything since that would have surpassed it.
25 million budget.
Yeah, they wanted 50, but the studio went, fuck off.
Right.
For this.
Because it's a weed movie, apparently. Yeah. That's what they said, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it did very, very well. And they were thinking about a sequel for a while.
Well, I heard that Judd Apatow wanted to sort of merge this with the Superbad universe and do a sequel to both of them in one.
How is that possible when Rogen is a copper in that?
I've got no idea. Maybe he would play dual roles.
Yeah,
maybe
twins.
They just didn't think about it.
Yeah.
And it was an off-the-cuff remark he made in an interview once.
Yeah, probably. I just never thought about it since.
Yeah, or before.
Yeah. I was just looking at my notes here, right? One of the things that I wrote down is the pre-production involved extensive research on marijuana culture and drug-related crimes to ensure authenticity in the film.
Drug-related crimes?
Yeah.
Such as?
Smoking weed?
That's the crime. I don't think that's the crime they had in mind.
It's
surely.
A crime. But I just wondered how far that research stretched. I'm assuming for Seth Rogen, he got very method on this in this role.
I imagine he didn't need to, Dan.
On account of
just regular lifestyle.
1,000 joints in his pocket.
Yes, I would imagine. Although James Franco did not smoke weed.
Really? I was surprised at that.
I know.
Maybe, do you know what? Maybe he should.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the problem.
I'm not going to disagree. Yeah. Maybe that would fix a number of things.
I wonder what the drug-related crime... I did no research. It's just a statement I wrote down.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, drug-related crimes. I mean, what? Obviously,
people end up dead.
People end up dead. You're absolutely right.
There are like big crimes in this movie.
There's murder, and that is a big crime.
Yeah.
That's the main point in this film, isn't it? Is the witness of the murder and the kind of the gang thing, which is...
Well, they keep calling them the Asians.
Yeah.
And they do sort of address that is a bit racist in the movie.
Okay.
Because they're South Koreans, apparently. There's just some familiar faces. We get Ken Jeong.
And Bobby Lee. Yeah.
Yeah. Pre-fame, I'm guessing. I don't know when The Hangover was. When did Community start?
I don't know. You're the Community guy.
Yeah, I can't
2004?
No, it can't be that early. I refuse to believe.
2005?
I refuse to believe it.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, some familiar faces. Yeah, so going back to something you said earlier, the bit at the beginning with Bill Hader that you said didn't connect to anything.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it does connect to anything, but in the climax, like the shootout and the fights at the end, the downstairs room, where I guess is the grow house, there are suits hung up on the wall that are the same sort of robot-looking biohazard suits that the guys were wearing at the beginning.
Okay.
And in fact, it was the same location.
Right.
But I don't know if that's just budget constraints. Like they used it for the beginning bit and then they just redid it.
I reckon that they had that location for the final act.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, Bill Hader was free and mates with someone. And he went...
So you don't even think that was scripted?
No.
Right.
How can it be? Because it's got nothing to do with anything else.
Well, they don't just get James Remar on the fly, right?
Well, that's true. But it felt very bolted on to me. And I reckon they were just in that location and they went, we need a funny way of opening this movie, because the montage stuff which we spoke about at the beginning where Rogen's going through the motions with his job, not very funny. And I imagine they probably wanted to open with a comedic moment. I
thought that was mildly amusing. Just the notion that everybody hates process servers. Nobody likes being subpoenaed.
Sub poena.
Yes. And I guess the joke is that he's having to disguise himself in various get-ups just to get access to these people. Because if you tell them, like, you have to hand the paperwork over, I believe. You can't just like post it. You have to take it to them in person.
Yeah.
And if they were to get wind of who you are and run away, that would present a problem.
Right.
So hence all these disguises.
I see.
So that kind of tickled me. I wasn't guffawing, but I was mildly amused.
Okay, well, I take it back then.
But at the same time, I love the Bill Hader bit. I don't find it as disconnected as you.
I know you do. I think it was about 10 minutes before I actually laughed in this movie, and it was when Franco appeared.
Oh no!
And he did a. It's when he was repeating what he saw on the television. I forget what it was. It was something about a hurricane, but he kept repeating it, and I thought it was very funny the way he delivered that.
We're very different, aren't we?
In some ways we are. In some ways we're very similar, and in some ways we're very different. But that's, you don't want to be exactly the same, do you?
No, I'm not suggesting that.
No, exactly.
There's some curious dialogue as well, like in the middle of the film with Danny McBride's character. I think he says the words melon farmers, or like they messed with the wrong melon farmers.
Okay,
which is a curious thing to say, but apparently
he's thinking of pineapples. Oh, it should be pineapple farmers.
No, it's so what it is you know, if there's a TV edit of a movie where the swears are toned down, or like if a film is shown on a plane, they like the common dub for motherfuckers is melon farmers.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I guess same syllables.
Melon farmer. I guess it looks...
Doesn't sound as cool.
But when you, like, if you're just looking at someone's lips move, it probably looks the same. And that's the idea of it, I guess.
Yeah. So that's where that came from.
Okay.
So some of the strange decisions did have some reasoning behind it. Did you know that James Franco actually injured Danny McBride during one of those scenes?
No, I didn't. And I wish it was the other way around.
So when he bashes Danny McBride over the head with the bong, apparently they'd kind of done tests, you know, obviously they're not just going to be like, hit him over the head with a glass bong. What could go wrong? They'd done some tests. It was intended to just smash, be relatively painless, safe, whatever. But they had water in the bong, I guess, to make it look more realistic. And that somehow changed the dynamics of it enough that it did actually injure him.
Yeah, made it more substantial and heavy, I guess.
Well, I don't think you can't put that much water in a bong. That would make it significantly heavier. I'm saying like maybe it changed the physics of it or something. Maybe. I'm not a fucking scientist. I don't know. What do I look like? Bill Nye?
I don't know anything about bongs, so I couldn't say.
You're just going to keep going back to that, are you?
Bong is a type of drum, isn't it?
Yes, that's what the movie Evil Bong is about. It's an evil set of drums.
Evil Bong. That's a film that I don't know.
It's a full moon movie.
And that should mean something to me. What's a full moon?
Full
movie?
Moon, Charles Band.
And that is a man. Is he did they do the puppet things?
Yeah, like all the puppet masters.
I only know that because of
Dolls.
You. Yeah.
Killjoy. He's got a bunch of franchises.
Is he Castle
Freak?
Yeah. Is that him? Is that a film?
That's Full Moon. Yeah, that's a Stuart Gordon movie.
Oh, is it? Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that because of the presence of Jeffrey Combs and Barbara Crampton.
Yeah.
Becomes obvious. Yeah. We listened to a podcast interview. It might have been Mick Garris. Might have been a post-mortem episode.
Was he talking about working in Italy or something? I seem to remember.
Potentially.
And for some reason in my mind, their studio was in a castle, but I might just be thinking of Castle Freak.
Maybe.
An Italian castle. Are there even castles in Italy? It's in Europe, so I suspect that there probably are. But are there as many castles in Italy as there are in the UK?
Why would I know that?
I don't know. It's just a question.
We're here to talk about Pineapple Express. Surprisingly enough, how many castles there are in Europe isn't in my notes, Dan.
It's fun when you go on tangents, I think, on a podcast and you talk about different things. And I feel like we don't go on enough tangents. It's usually always related at least to movies. But I think that we should introduce some more random stuff like
geographical facts.
Yeah.
Is what you're suggesting.
Architecture. How much mileage can we get out of a flying buttress?
I think this might be all you know.
Yeah.
Maybe you should start a second podcast.
What should we call it? The Flying Buttress, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll do it with that bloke from Grand Designs. What's his name? Kevin Philistine or whatever.
I haven't got a clue.
Yeah. He seems like a knob as well. Anyway, unless you're listening, you're probably a nice guy. I don't know you. But he seems like a dick, doesn't he?
So Pineapple Express. I'm trying so very hard.
Yeah, go on, pull me back in. Go on. Pineapple Express.
What are your thoughts? We get to the end. There's the big shootout. Danny McBride comes back because he's unkillable. He's Michael Myers. Interesting link there as well. Yeah, because he wrote Halloween. No, I get it.
Yeah. I think I got a bit sick of the action in this film. I felt like I do really like an action comedy.
Well, yeah, that's why it surprises me to hear you say that.
Yeah, I think.
What did you get sick of?
I just don't think the action was very good.
Right.
And I felt like I could feel the lack of budget. Perhaps that's what it was. It felt like there was maybe a lack of preparation there, and perhaps the action wasn't taken that seriously. And I don't mind that. It doesn't bother me so much, but then maybe to have less action in it. And I felt like some of the scenes went on for too long and it wasn't particularly entertaining. Again, subjective, this is me. But I thought maybe it tried to do a bit too much. I feel like it was maybe a bit ambitious to make an action comedy on a 25 million budget. I think and does Rogen do much action? The only other thing
he's not an action guy. No,
he's not an action guy.
He did take up yoga to limber up for this movie, though.
Okay, I take it back. He isn't actually an action guy then, on account of
feel like
flying dog that he did or whatever it was.
I do feel like yoga is probably the most appropriate form of exercise for a stoner.
Yeah, probably. The only thing that I could think of that perhaps comes closest to this movie in terms of other Rogen movies is The Green Hornet, because that is an action comedy / comic book superhero movie.
Yeah, I guess so.
Which nobody has ever seen or thought about in 18 years.
I've seen it.
I've seen it too. But I don't.
Are we the only two?
I don't remember it being very good.
No.
And I think it was a bit of a notorious flop, if I remember correctly.
Well, then we've missed the boat on that one then. We should have covered it last season.
We should have covered it in flops. But as we discussed in that season, we're going to do flops every 10 seasons.
Every decade, I thought you were going to say. Every 10 years.
But so, it's funny how I can only think of kind of two Rogen action comedies. And I don't really like either of them very much.
He's not the go-to.
He's a comedy. I really like Seth Rogen.
He seems like a cool individual, and I like the fact that he's kind of He does seem to have severed ties with James Franco after some of the allegations came out, and he's spoken about it publicly. Doesn't seem to have massively like shied away from it, which is nice. And he's kind of made insinuations that he's on the right side of things. He was in an episode of Hacks, I think in the most recent season.
Right, was he? Okay.
Season 4.
Did you finish that in the end?
I did, yeah. But there's a scene where he's on a late night talk show and they're playing like celebrity strip poker, and he is losing drastically and he's down to his boxers, and they're like, no, the boxers have to go. So he whips his boxers off, but he's got a second pair underneath, and he says, you're not going to Me Too me today.
Right.
So I get the impression that he's sort of, I don't know, it's interesting that he would be kind of poking fun at that, given what's happened. But yeah, he does seem like a dude.
Yeah, and I just enjoy his, for the most part, I guess I probably do enjoy his movies mostly, I think. Going back to, but then maybe is it the movies where he's more of a side character? I don't know, because I'm thinking of 40-Year-Old Virgin and Knocked Up, and he's a side character in those, right?
No, Knocked Up, he's like the main guy.
Yeah, and actually thinking about it, I don't think I enjoyed Knocked Up very much, actually.
Okay, backtracking on that immediately.
Yeah. But I'm really struggling. There's me going, I really like Seth Rogen, but can I name you a fucking movie that he's been in that I really like?
Donnie Darko.
Yeah, but he's barely in it. And I haven't seen it in years. And does it hold up? Who knows?
How do you feel about him as a serious actor? Because we watched a film recently called Take This Waltz, directed by Sarah Polley, who we talked about in our Go episode. And he's definitely not there for comic relief. And he's decent.
That's interesting, actually. Maybe I do prefer him as a dramatic actor. He's brilliant in Steve Jobs as Wozniak. And he was in other things, I think.
He's definitely been in other things, yeah. Okay. So, in summation, will you ever watch Pineapple Express again?
God, no.
No?
No, I was quite bored by this. I did have a couple of moments.
You were bored?
I had a couple of moments where I laughed, and it was kind of amusing. Mostly all James Franco related, which was very surprising to me.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be the most annoying part of this movie, but unfortunately ended up being one of my favourite parts. Robinson stuff, a lot of his lines I found very funny. And Danny McBride, I don't know if I really laughed out loud at a lot of his stuff, but it was more, he's not doing the McBride thing quite as much as he usually does, and that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
But in terms of, it doesn't make me laugh nearly as much as Ricky Stenicki. And I know I
can't believe that's become our measuring stick.
I'm sort of like joking, but I'm not really, because that makes me laugh every few minutes. There's another laugh in that film, and it's not great, don't get me wrong, but it's not funny. Great. To me, it's very funny. And to me, this movie is not that funny. It's
so subjective. As you said earlier, comedy is, as we've established, maybe the most subjective.
Yeah.
And so you're either going to like it or you're not.
I suppose so. Yeah, for me, no. I if I'm going to score this, I'm probably at like a 2 or something.
Okay.
Maybe a 2. Yeah. No height. Definitely no higher than a 2.
Right.
Because I found the plot and the actual progression of the story quite laborious.
Okay.
And it wasn't very funny to me. So it's like, what am I really scoring it for then? I'm giving it a 2 because some of the performances were okay.
Right. Fair enough.
But what about you for a rewatch then?
Well, I guess I'll be rewatching it on my own in future.
So you're going to continue to watch this then?
I mean, it's never something I return to often. In terms of comedies, it's not even, I wouldn't even put it in like top 20 or anything. There are so many other films I would reach for first. But if I was somewhere and it was on TV, let's stick around and watch it.
Okay.
It makes me laugh. It does the one thing for me that it doesn't do for you.
And that's the one thing that a comedy
that it's supposed to do. Yeah.
It's the one thing. That's what it is. It makes you laugh great. And I felt a little bit broken actually when we were watching it together, because I did notice you chuckling quite a bit, and I'm like, I wish I found this funny.
Oh, as long as you weren't thinking, is my girlfriend a moron?
I would never. I was a bit jealous, when I sort of see people enjoying a thing, I want to enjoy it too. I just don't very much. It's annoying. But
Standards are just too high, Dan.
I don't think they are they? What's my favourite comedy? Maybe Borat. Ricky Stenicki.
Borat.
Yeah. Maybe it's up there.
Oh my
I don't
God.
know what we got. Let's not get into that conversation. But yeah, I suppose comedies are not really a type of. I don't go back to comedies that much these days as I used to anyway as a child.
Okay.
Booksmart is a good one.
That's a really good example of a great
top 5 of the
comedy,
last decade, I would say. It's maybe Booksmart, Palm Springs, Ricky Stenicki. That's 3 if you can count.
Interesting. Okay.
But it's good to have. It definitely fits in this season. It qualifies, and it's good to do a kind of a mid to late 2000s movie. In that, it's been interesting to talk about the setting, the stoner comedy kind of things, the state of comedy movies kind of in that era and that sort of thing. So it's been interesting to think about that, and having now watched Pineapple Express again, maybe there'll be other things in the future that we can, or me specifically, I can kind of look back on Pineapple Express and think, oh yeah, this is kind of like that. Or maybe we'll do another Danny McBride movie. I can't for the life of me imagine what that's going to be. But maybe we will accidentally one day do a Alien Covenant.
Maybe
we just want to see James Franco on fire. That might be fun.
Any day that ends in Y.
Yeah.
I think it's a real shame that this film didn't make you laugh more, because you're not going to be laughing next week.
It's been a real, I was going to say roller coaster, but the last few movies I haven't loved very much.
Less of a roller coaster, more of a haunted house this season.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that, I know what next movie is. I'm going to let you announce it in just a moment.
Okay.
But what I'm hoping for the next one is that it's just a good movie.
Oh, it is a good movie.
Okay. I mean, I'm hoping for that at least. But
okay.
What is it?
We're covering Requiem for a Dream. Maybe the most depressing film that I've chosen so far.
Ever?
Oh, is it more depressing than Come and See? That's tough.
It can't be.
Well, we'll discuss that next week, I guess.
All right.